All right guys, back into a new day here. This is where we left off on the Forester. Pretty sure I already showed you guys I had this thing all the way tore apart. Gonna go ahead and get this cleaned up. It's pretty grimy in the timing area here, so I'm just gonna go the extra step and give this thing a good cleaning, and that way we have a good place to start. You know, I do plan on doing a built motor later on. Obviously I don't think this stock motor is gonna live forever for what I'm about to put it through, but you guys will get to come along and see how long she wants to hang of us. Like I said, it looks like this thing has had zero maintenance in its life, other than what I can tell is a belt slap, meaning they didn't change any of the pulleys or anything in the timing system. Everything else looks original to the car, which the car has 180,000 miles on it. So definitely got some use on her. So let's go ahead and get this thing cleaned up, get ready, get the thing back together, and I'll show you the timing belt kit we're gonna put on here today, water pump, and then we should be able to move on to getting the top end of this motor together. All right, after a little bit of elbow grease, it is looking much cleaner down there. I definitely recommend this, guys, if you're doing a service in your car. It's just good to clean everything out, especially in the timing component area. We don't want any oil on our new belt, so that is all clean. Water pump is taken off. I have a new OEM water pump for this thing, and then we went with a IAG timing kit. Normally I use Gates kits, but it seems like there's some form of a back order going on right now, so went ahead and got a black IAG kit. Gonna go ahead and get that new water pump on first, then get the timing covers on. I got brand new ones yesterday. Those are right here. So all new gaskets for this thing, brand new timing inner and outer cover. That way we can keep our new belt and timing system nice and safe and out of the elements. So gonna go ahead, get that stuff thrown together. Once I get that done, I'll catch you guys up. Someone's probably gonna say it where that side is on, this side's off. Yes, I could take that side off and do the cam seals on this thing. Definitely would recommend, you know, if I was at a customer car right now, I would definitely do it. For me, I mean, like I told you guys, I plan on doing a built motor in this thing anyway, so they don't look like they're leaking. I don't think they're gonna start leaking in the amount of time this thing's gonna get a built motor, so not changing them. All right, I couldn't just keep telling you guys how important it is to keep this area clean. Sorry for the light shine. So I went ahead and pulled off the cam gears and replaced all the cam seals, the front main oil pump seal, and obviously those seals as well. So this is important because you don't want to get oil on your new belt. This is a really good service anyways on these cars. It's the most common spot for these things to start seeping oil over time. It's going to be at the cam seals. Main seal starts to. Valve covers obviously is another one, but these ones seem to be in decent condition. We're going to go ahead and leave them. The PCV assembly back here is another one that is really common for starting to leak and seep, because look at how rock hard that thing is. So this is going to be getting replaced. The main oil breather here, you can see how much oil buildup is on the back of the block there. That's from that hose also getting hard and beginning to seep. Those two are a little bit more of a pain to get to than obviously when you're doing a timing belt service, because you'd have to pull the entire manifold to get the center block breather one, and that one you can kind of shimmy your way in there if you were to try to do it without pulling the turbo and the manifold. It's just not fun. But we are going to be doing all the maintenance on this thing, so that way we have a really solid winter daily, and we don't have any issues in the future. So like I said, this is really important, guys. I can't just change the belt and show you guys, oh yeah, I keep it clean, and not do this. So went ahead, did that service. This is all done. Gonna go ahead and finish putting this thing back together in the front of it, get the thing all timed, and we'll keep trucking away. All right, been doing quite a bit of work in the background here. Got this thing most of the way together here. Got our FP black. That thing is all nice and mounted. I did already trim the block. Already got our AOS breather on. I do already have the dump tube and the wastegate on. I did put a larger spring in there. I didn't have quite the colors I wanted. I was missing a blue spring. That's a pretty common spring around here. So it should be around 17 to 19 pounds on the gate. I would probably like to be at 20 pounds to give us enough to go to 40, but I think that's going to be a little bit too much for our auto trans, but you guys know me, I'm going to send it regardless. So already got our IAG fuel rails on here. We got a set of ID 1700s in here. Definitely a lot of injector for the setup, but it's great to have some room for growth, and plus I already have these here, so I'm going to go ahead and use those. For those of you wondering right now what's going to be in here for a fuel pump, it's going to have a single 525 Walbro fuel pump, hardwired. We do have a Killer Bee hard inlet here, so we're going to be putting that on and putting our coupler on. It seems like the 3-inch is actually easier because they have this offset coupler. I wish Killer Bee would do the offset coupler for 2 1/4 to their inlet, because it would really make it a lot easier. Those of you that have installed this with a 2 1/4 know that it is pretty time consuming to put on the car and set it up, but it is worth it in the end. Those hard inlets definitely do pick up power. So I'm gonna go ahead and continue working away here. Next update will probably be that we'll have the hard inlet on, I'll have the intake manifold on, and start getting to the point where we can start running our fuel lines. I did go ahead and replace the power steering pump as well, and it had the wrong fluid in it. Something really common I see, guys. These things, you would think it would take power steering fluid, but that's not the case. They take automatic transmission fluid, so I drained the whole system. Brand new pump. Hopefully that gets rid of our whine in the morning. I probably could just drain the system and put the right fluid in it, and we probably wouldn't have the whine, but that's all right. We went ahead and just did a new pump now, so that way I don't have this whine in the morning. Went ahead and knocked out pretty much all the maintenance on this thing with doing those cam seals, timing belt, water pump, a oil cooler, because we had to change that regardless, which I will show you the headers they are on right now. Oil coolers are another really common spot on these cars that have oil leaks and seepage, so definitely a good maintenance item there. The only thing I think we haven't done maintenance wise at this point would be the valve covers and the head gaskets. So we'll see what happens. We'll see if we can keep the motor together, which I don't have quite a bit of faith on. I think we're going to end up hurting the trans far before we hurt the motor, but you know, it could be a point where this auto trans breaks in a way that it hurts the motor, or breaks in a way that it puts the motor at risk. So we'll see what happens. This is all new, just for fun. Regardless, I've already told you guys I already have that 07 STI drivetrain, so if it breaks it, that's all right. It breaks it, we'll go ahead and put that drivetrain in this thing. Engine wise, we'll cross that path when we get there. Higher miles unit, I usually like the ones that have higher miles, because that means they have looser clearances, and those of you that build motors know that looser is better for higher horsepower to an extent. But let me get this thing knocked out, continue to make some good progress in here today. Really happy with how things are turning out. Also, shout out to my boy Taylor over at Taylor Tuning, wearing his shirt today he sent over to me. Definitely a comfortable thing to wear. So let's go ahead and get back to work. Oh boys, there she is, running. This is still on pump gas. It has a full tank on it, so I'm still going to have to drain that out. But she is just finishing up bleeding her coolant system right now, bleeding the power steering pump. Everything is going good. Things running good. 1700s on pump gas. Do have a little bit of idle chop if you want to run them at full stowage, 14.7, you know, in that 14.0 region. So it does have a little bit of a chop right now. Once we go to E85, that will clear her up. We'll be using more of our injector. But yes, she is running great, sounds great. I'm gonna pull this thing out, and then I'll do a full overview and walkthrough on this thing. All right, I told you guys I'd give you a good walk over of this thing once it was all done and together. New front end is on, back from paint. This thing's all ready to go on the dyno. Today we put the Walbro 535 in it and hardwired it. Got the relay back there, fuse block there. There's the whole setup. STI intake manifold, Killer Bee hard inlet, FP black. 8 centimeter on this one. Kind of wish it was the 10 centimeter, but Justin screwed us on that deal.
Blame me.
I know. Grimsby top mount. Probably would like a front mount, but we're going to start here. I did put my intake temp sensor right into the top mount so we can see accurate readings there. Keep an eye on that. It's going to be pretty cold out anyways right now. I don't foresee that being a problem. A larger side of fuel system, but I'm sure this thing's probably going to go to that range. ID 1700s. Obviously the Walbro that I just told you we put in. Aeromotive A1000 regulator, IAG fuel rails, torque solution fuel line kit, everything we normally would do on one of our 500 wheel packages. We have a Cobb SF air intake, IAG AOS, NVIDIA exhaust, Cobb blow-off valve, and that's about it. Stock auto, stock motor. We just did a bunch of maintenance on this thing, as you probably see in this video, with the timing belt, the cam seals, oil cooler. I am forgetting it has that ETS header down there as well. So should have everything to make power. I don't know how well the auto is going to show us power.
It's going to be a heartbreaker.
What are you guys' guesses?
I'm going to say 462.
Damn, you cut yours down, huh?
420.
420?
420.
This bitch makes 420. We're putting a 200 shot on it.
I know that turbo's made more, so.
Thanks. I would like the C500. I don't know if that's a real number on this auto, whether we can see it or not with getting the torque converter to lock up on the dyno. We will be doing second gear. 1-to-1 is actually in third on this, but it would use part of second and shift, and I would rather not do that. So we'll just see what happens today. I guess whatever it makes, and we'll see if this auto actually wants to still have a gear after we get off the dyno. So I'm gonna go ahead and drive it over there. I just loaded the map. By the way, big information here, it is on E85. It's not on pump gas. So this will just solely be on E85. Obviously with a stock motor, you want good fuel, especially when trying to obviously go for those power numbers. So I'm gonna fire this thing up, get it on the dyno. We gotta put the wideband in still, and then we will be ready to party. Hopefully we make some decent power. If this thing makes anything in the 3s or low 4s, you're probably gonna see some ghetto stuff, like a nitrous bottle going right at the intake. So
We can do that.
you're damn right we'll be doing that. Just make sure, don't you fucking hit it when it comes right in the power, you dick. I'll be meeting Rodney.
Mine live, why won't yours?
Because you had rods.
This might have rods, you don't know.
With how crusty that thing was, are you kidding me?
It's just the battery acid.
She looks like she's never been apart in her life. We'll know once I send her to the moon and it breaks. I'll tear it down and show you guys, but doesn't look like it's ever been touched, you dick.
No, it probably is.
Okay, you ready? I'm ready. This could be the last time that this auto trans drives. I'm not sure, but we're gonna find out. I know everybody wanted to see it, so here it is. Finally the time. You get to see what this auto will do. Will we find 4 neutrals or what? Look how pretty it is with that new front end. Alright, trying to get this on. I gotta get the wideband in, so if you're hearing an exhaust leak, that is what's going on underneath, because I had to pull it out for some other cars to tune. But let's pull this thing forward here.
About tomorrow, I'm just living in the moment, the moment, the moment. Full tank of gas and 200 on the dash, bitch, I'm zoning, fast lane. Living life up in the fast lane. Hey. Living life up in the fast lane. And I ain't slowing down, I ain't slowing down, I ain't slowing down. Living life up in the fast lane. Pedal to the ground, pedal to the ground, pedal to the ground. Living